guys, it's Sarah from Sarah in Sorrento. I'm back in Italy and I'm so excited to be back, honestly. For those who don't know, I spent 2 full months back in the US this past winter and it was a lot. Over on Instagram, I asked you guys to send me some questions that you would like me to answer more in depth about my stay in the US and just in general, like the comparisons between Italy and USA. So first question, was it weird to speak all English again? Yes, it very much was. When I first went there, I was always saying like grazie or ciao like right away. I'd like catch myself, I'm like, oh, sorry. Like they probably thought I was like so pretentious. Not only that, but like my jaw started to get sore because the way English people speak and like just the words we say, we eat them. And so it kind of started to hurt speaking more English, while in Italian, your mouth is more open. So like it's less stressful. I don't know. That was a weird thing I felt, but maybe that's just me. Next question. Do you feel like an American in Italy and an Italian in America? Yes, that is like the best way to describe it. But even more so, it feels like we are in limbo. Like we are in the in-between. In a sense, when I'm in America, I don't feel American. I feel more Italian. But then when I'm in Italy, I don't feel Italian. I feel more American, but not entirely American. So it's definitely a limbo experience that I'm just in somewhere in the middle. And I feel like a lot of other Americans living abroad probably feel the same. And sometimes it's hard to fit in and try to like label yourself. What did you miss about Italy, what in the US, and what are you missing already from America? Well, when I was here in Italy, and now that I am back, I definitely miss my family and friends. That is something, you know, life still moves on, and it's hard to think about that, you know, when you go back, you start to see more wrinkles on your friend's face when they smile or laugh, and it's just like, you didn't have that last time I was here, and you just realize how time is such a thief. And I think that's the main reason why I started vlogging and doing social media, is because I have like so many family and friends I want to keep in touch with, and they always ask me, so what's new, what's up? And I feel like me showing, you know, my life and telling you guys what's happening in my life and what it's like living here, it's kind of for them to be able to check up on me and see like, oh, how's Sarah doing? Let me see her story. Let me watch her video and see what she's up to. And so it's actually really convenient, I feel like, to be able to like communicate with people back home. What is the biggest insight you have after the trip to USA? Oh my goodness, it is so expensive to travel to the USA. That is literally, it blew my mind out of the water. So we went back to Florida, where I'm originally from the suburbs of Philadelphia and all my family is, but everyone has like migrated down to Florida. And Florida used to be actually more like cheaper than the Northeast of America, but everywhere, even Florida, has gotten so much more expensive just for grocery shopping, for going out to eat. It's insane. And I feel like it's going to be very hard for an average Italian family to be able to vacation in the US. Like we spent there for 2 months. Thankfully, we had like a free stay because I was at my father's house. But like if we didn't, oh my goodness, we would probably be bankrupt. Do you prefer living in Italy rather than the USA? I definitely prefer living in Italy. That's why I'm here. For now, I'm very happy I live here. Granted, I don't know what the future holds, so maybe I will go back to the USA someday, but who knows? Why are you living in Italy and do you like it? So I don't know if anyone knows this story. I'll repeat it again. So basically, back in spring of 2014, I studied abroad in Temple Rome University, and it was my amazing semester abroad. I absolutely fell in love with Italy. Me and my best friend Ashley wanted to stay in Italy for the summer, but we didn't have any money, so we found a summer job at this tiny little bar in Sorrento, and lo and behold, there was a boy working at this bar, and he's now my husband, Luigi. So, and we have a family together, and the rest is pretty much history. It's crazy how like this one little decision can literally change your whole entire life and the course of your life. Like, oh my goodness. Sincerely, I cannot believe that this one little decision changed everything. Do you feel sad to leave family and friends, or is Italy home? Yes, I definitely feel sad to leave family and friends. Coming this past 2 months, when I was leaving, I actually cried because I didn't know when I would see them again. And, you know, especially as I see my parents get older, and my grandmother who's still around, she's getting older, and I'm just like, I don't know when I'm going to see them again. And that's kind of scary. Like if I do plan to have more frequent visits back to the US. And so when I plan those things, it's much more exciting. It's like, okay, there's going to be a next time. You never know what could happen. And so that's kind of scary. And not being able to be there right then and there if there's an emergency or something is kind of scary. Thank goodness for social media. Thank goodness for the internet and like FaceTiming, and we're able to communicate. It's not like we're literally worlds apart. Okay, maybe we are, but we're just one phone call away. Did Kata become more comfortable speaking English? This is a great question because I've explained on my social media platforms that my daughter Kata, who is 4.5, always reverts to speaking Italian. Italian is her first language and she's most comfortable speaking that language. I've always, from day one, spoken English with her, but she knows and has seen me speak Italian. So when I speak English to her, she understands everything I say, but she always responded Italian. And so that was a main reason, probably one of the main reasons why we went back to the US for 2 months, because I wanted to enroll her in an American school. I wanted her to experience and speak with other American kids of her age. And it was probably the best decision we ever did, because when we came back and even when we're there, she starts speaking more English. She was saying phrases. I mean, granted, she still has a lot more to practice. She's definitely more fluent, I would say, in Italian, but she is speaking more English and I'm just so proud of her. And she responds to me in English now, and just don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep practicing. If you are a multilingual family, do not give up. Keep going. Because some kids adapt to it very easily and some kids don't. And maybe OPAL works for you and maybe OPAL doesn't for someone else. But I also have a friend, Kat, from Bringing Up Bilinguals. She's been a huge help in trying to figure out the best method to help my daughter speak English and Italian. What did you like the most as a family and what not? So the most, we definitely liked being accessible to things. That was amazing. Being able to just drive anywhere and buy anything we want from one store and not have to go to individual places. Here comes Sergio James. Having activities that we went to, an indoor kids playground in the Treasure Coast. We went to Disney World. There are so many things available for kids and adults. And I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. Right, Sergio James? You have anything to say for that? Next question. You've tried life in the USA with your family. Cultural differences between Italy and the USA. So the biggest difference definitely has to be around food. Average Americans, don't really care what they put in their body. They just eat something quickly and then get right back to work, because the work culture, the hustle culture is such a huge thing in America. While in Italy, it's much more you sit, you relax, you eat, you cook fresh food every single day. In Southern Italian culture, I'm talking about, because that's the only one I really know about. Northern Italian culture is a whole other world. No question, but I'm looking forward to hearing all about the vibes. I love it. No, America was a vibe. The vibes are so funny because another culture shock was how Americans, the strangers, are much more likely to come up to you and say a comment. I can't tell you how many times people came up to me while I'm holding Sergio James, or Sergio James is with me because he's this bright orange hair, and people are like, oh my God, look at his hair. And where did he get that from? I forgot how friendly they are. Traveling from Florida, what airlines and flights did you go with? Booking soon. Very good question. ITA Airways is the airline that we flew. Honestly, I think they were great. For those who don't know, ITA Airways actually used to be Air Italia, but Air Italia went bankrupt, so the US government basically spent more money to get ITA Airways. It has reused those planes, Alitalia to ITA Airways. But it's great. It's an Italian company. I usually like to do the Italian company because sometimes the food is a little bit better. The flight attendants tend to be a little bit more nicer or more adaptable to the young children, I feel, because they're Italian, they understand the family culture, while I feel like other airlines might not be so friendly. And how long did it take you to learn Italian? Well, I'm still learning. Where I'm at right now, granted, I've been here for 9 years, but I feel like it's really taken me about year 5 or 6 is what really flip the switch for me. I have a different story to tell because I also heard a lot of the dialect. The dialect where I live is Napoletano, and socially, a lot of people, even with Luigi's family, speak this all the time. So I was also improving my Italian, but also my Napoletano dialect. Learning 2 languages at once practically can be a handful. Here's a really great question. What kind of work does your husband do that allows him to leave for 2 months? Well, great question. My husband currently works at a beach club along the Amalfi Coast. And since, if you don't know this, this, Amalfi Coast is seasonal. So during the winter months, everyone's closed. Like there's no one here along the Amalfi Coast. Everything is closed. So his work is basically from Easter to about Halloween time. So like May to October. He's free pretty much all winter. Will you be doing this again like each year? Probably not. I don't have the budget to be able to spend 2 months every single year back in the US. It is so expensive. I'm not kidding you. Granted, I would like to visit the US at least once a year. As a whole family visiting, I think a month would be perfect. A minimum of 2 weeks, because with kids and adjusting to the time zone difference, that is a whole other ballgame. It takes just like 1 week to adjust to the time zone difference. My dad feels in Canada he's built a life, but in Italy is home. Can't leave neither behind. Same for you. Honestly, I'm gonna be kind of honest. Like I think, and I'm sure a lot of the younger generation is starting to realize this, our generation was the last generation that was kind of taught, like, you go to school, you go to university, you graduate with a degree, and you're gonna find an amazing job and be able to support yourself and grow, have a family, and do whatever you want in life. So we did that. We went to school, we went to university, we graduated, and then we walk out the front door with a degree in our hands, and we're like, all right, now? And it's just like, nope, sorry. Actually, you're gonna have to find an internship. You're gonna have to do an entry job and still struggle to pay off your bills and this and that. Oh, forget about buying a house. Like, it's just the American dream has gotten so much more expensive and unreachable for the average person. And I think it's with the economy ever since COVID. Like, I think there's going to be a breaking point to a point where things are going to have to reset. Nowadays, everyone's going to college because it's a requirement now. Like, no one can apply for a job without at least a bachelor's degree nowadays. So it's almost becoming like the second high school it's 100% necessary to do. And then you look at all these success stories of millionaires and billionaires, and almost all of them either dropped out of school or didn't go to school, and they just started to work and went with their idea. Like, it's kind of crazy, actually. I feel like people are starting to learn the hack that you don't necessarily need to follow the line and run in the rat race to become successful. American dream is unreachable from older standards. It's changing, and I think America in certain ways needs to change too, to be able to accommodate the average person, average family. Otherwise, it's just gonna reach a breaking point, I feel like, or a tipping point even. Italy, of course, has a lot to work on as well. I don't wanna say America's all bad. Of course it's not. Italy has its struggles too with bureaucracy, with politics, with economical reasons. But I think the basic lifestyle is what I think Americans strive for. But they can't because they're so consumed that they have to do this instead to just be able to survive. And the last thing they think about is their health, their mental health, their well-being. While here in Italy, that's the first and foremost. Then the job comes secondary. Thank you guys for everyone on Instagram sending these questions. They are some amazing questions. And I'd love to discuss more. If you have any more questions, you can always comment down below. If there's something that's unanswered or you're curious about something else, subscribe to my channel. I would sincerely appreciate it. Until then, ciao for now.